Hello, everyone. I'm Jules Aubry-de-Blic, political advisor at the European People's Party. And on behalf of the EPP, I'm very happy to see you all again in this new episode of the EPP Family Talks, with a particular focus on recovery, economic recovery. We are very glad to have with us today Minister Andrej Šircelj, Finance Minister of Slovenia, and Slovenia, which is absolutely a crucial country for our European Union, particularly currently as Slovenia holds the EU presidency. Few words about recovery and the recovery plan, and then I will give you the floor, dear Minister. At the beginning of July already, the European Commission endorsed Slovenia's 2.5 billion euros recovery and resilience plan. Then the Council approved the assessment of the plan, and more recently, in September, the European Commission announced the disbursement of more than 230 million euros to Slovenia in pre-financing. So now we can say that the concrete evolutions are now possible. Minister, my first question. You have a very long and strong experience in economic and financial policies, thanks to different positions, notably, if I'm not mistaken, as a teacher in economics at the beginning, and also different positions in the private sector and official government bodies. So, Minister, as a Slovenian citizen and also as the Minister for Finance, what does the EU recovery mean for you?
Oh yes, thank you very much for this question, and thank you very much for invitation. And I think that it means a lot, not only for me but also for all Europeans, because at the first time Europe stood together 1 year and a half ago when we at that time we had pandemic, and of course 1 year and a half for the whole Europe, and of course for Slovenia it was a completely different time. And at that time I think that European Commission react very fast, and also all the countries, the governments of the countries also reacted very fast and efficient, and because of that today we have quite a good development, and rebound is strong, and recovery is going strong. I can say that we adopted the right measures that time. And the first time also I think that we can talk about solidarity in Europe, because European Commission went to the international market and also took loans, or let's say issued bonds, and then these bonds of course means money for Europe, but of course it means also obligation for all the European countries that we will repay this money and these loans. So I think that the reaction was 1 year and a half good, and also that today I think we are in a good path with clear objective, and I think that also this RRF recovery and resilience plans give us opportunity to invest in better investment, let me say, also of course digital, green, and of course the quality of life, I believe it will be better for all Europeans, and also for Slovenians. Yes, because exactly. Slovenia is also in good path. Our recovery is strong. GDP projections are let's say quite high. It means 6.4%. It's more than the average growth in Europe, and I think that also financial system is very stable. Unemployment is very low. It means that today more workers work than in 2019, and it is a good.
Sir, thank you so much. You perfectly presented the European framework and all the positive elements at the EU level. And the aim of this series of interviews with our guest and Minister for Finance is also to put the focus and put the light on national initiatives. So if I may ask, looking at some practical elements of the Slovenian recovery and resilience plan, what are the main elements that we can share with the companies, with the households of your national strategy you are implementing now with the government?
Well, first of all, I think that we are talking about many projects. Of course, all are green and digital, but what is for Slovenia also very important, it is that we are going to introduce some reforms which are very important for Slovenians. First reform is health reform. So we have to encourage investments in health investments, new hospitals. New hospitals also. I think that we are going to build these new hospitals, and also I think that with that we are going to reach higher level of quality of health services, and I think it is very important because we see how important health services are for the nation and for the people. Then the second thing, I think that we are going to introduce in next year's pension reform, and it's also part of the RRF program. It's necessary to introduce this pension reform because of demographic challenges and changes. You know that also Europe and including Slovenia becomes older and older population, and I think that this is also an issue and a very strong objective to manage these policies in next decade. And I think it's necessary to do this let me say to finance these pensions. We also find new sources, and we are going to set up a demographic fund, special fund. With this fund, we are going to finance pensions in our future. And of course, we are going in this infrastructure investments, railways, motorways, and of course, special road for bicycles and let's say recreation. And we are going to restructuring also Slovenian tourism in tourist infrastructure. And I think that we will do also that we are going to invest in reskilling, upskilling, and efficient educational system is also our plan. And of course, we are going to do this in next years.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It's a broad range of investments, but also you stressed the fact that it was important to have a balance between reforms and also the investments, with flagship examples you share with us, especially some, as you said, in the health sector. Minister, looking at the overall EU recovery in this post-pandemic era, how do you see the impact of the different recovery and resilience plans in the member states? And do you expect reforms and transformations taking place in the near future in other states? Also, do you feel that your colleagues at the European level has the same level of commitment, and that EU funding will serve the European interest in general terms?
I think that it's very important for European Union to, let's say, to unify it, and that we are following coherent process of all member states. And I think that recovery and resilience facility is important also for Europe to achieve more as a union, also to including to be more competitive. So, of course, each member state designed their own plan and targeted the crucial areas that are important for them and that need to be supported. And it's, of course, completely normal situation because each country knows its system best and which sectors or areas and shortcomings to address, and it is important for them. And I think that, of course, we have the common goals and the common objective. It is more green Europe and more digital Europe, and it means, of course, for Europe also higher competitiveness and also on the global stage, and to improve the position in the world. And I think that investments are important, but also reforms and introducing the reforms are also very important. And I think that for Europe it is important also that we reach also globally our objectives, and that this will happening as soon as possible. And I think that the crisis also that we can turning the crisis into the success story. I think that I mean, for the whole Europe it is important, and I think that if we are going to follow the plans, then I think that we will do so, and I'm quite optimistic.
Great. It's good to have this optimism. One last question, Minister, if I may. The European Commission launched and opened this week the broad debate on European fiscal rules and the future of economic governance. What is your feeling about this debate? You're talking about unity. Do you expect long discussions, or do you see a potential consensus emerging beyond EU partners?
Well, first of all, of course, I expect this conversation, and I think that discussion we will discuss very broad and with many aspects. And I think that the first what we have to do is to see real situation of fiscal rules. We know the Maastricht criteria, and we should know is are these criteria still realistic or no for all the countries. I think that one of the crucial criteria is debt. I mean, debt comparing with GDP, and I think that we have to talk about realistic possibilities, real possibilities, if this criteria is still real or not. Because if you look the figures, and then you can see different situation in many countries.
That's very clear. It's the beginning of the debate, so we'll see how it evolves. But it's very important to have your position also as leading as the leading country for the moment, as holding the European presidency. Minister Šircelj, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. It was really interesting, and we hope to have news from you and Slovenia in the coming weeks with the successes you were talking about. Thank you so much.
Thank you to you. Thank you for the invitation.
Thanks.
All the best. Bye.